Yeah.
Doc Rivers, my man. I've been a Doc Rivers fan since he coached the Orlando Magic, and that was a long time ago. That's when my love for NBA basketball started.
Yeah, like Pat Garrity and all that.
Yes, Scott, I'm not even lying to you. My mother, my senior year, it was prom, and the Magic were in the playoffs. So my mom's trying to send me off to prom, and I'm like, Mom, you know the Magic are playing tonight.
That's funny.
I'm absolutely not going to my senior prom. And she looked at me dead in the eyes and she was like, Emily, I fear you're going to regret this one day. Mom, I'm here to look you back dead in the eyes, however many years later, because I'm not going to reveal my age, to tell you that there are no regrets. I should have absolutely been at that game. That's where I was. And I met up with my girlfriends afterwards. So I missed nothing at all. I just never put the dress on. You know what I'm saying, Scott? No regrets. None. But Doc Rivers, I've loved you since then. So 76ers, do your thing, Miles. I'm sorry. Keep it going. Joel Embiid, you're the MVP for a reason.
Yes.
But in your defense, Miles, I will say I did not think the Celtics were going to lay down like they are right now. I really expected them to keep going. I've said it quite a few times on this show. The Celtics have a chip on their shoulder because of what happened last season. I thought this was a championship team, but they're folding. They're folding. Scott?
Well,
did you go to your senior prom?
Nope. I did not go to
Not
my
because of the
prom.
playoffs, though, right?
It wasn't because of the playoffs, man. I wasn't, I kind of kept to myself back in those days. You know, I know that's hard to imagine.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Mr. Outgoing over here, guys. He walks through the newsroom and you wouldn't even know he's here. He just just shows up, pops up.
It took me a while.
Shows
to come
no
on my
emotions.
show. Hey, look, I probably would have been like you, staying at home watching Daryl Armstrong.
No, I went to the game. Daryl Armstrong, Tracy McGrady, Mike Miller.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that was my team.
Those were some good players.
What's up, Rick? Welcome into Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Atlanta United hosting Colorado tonight, and I'm with the one and only, the club's president and CEO, Garth Lagerwey. The last time we talked, it was preseason. You were just settling in, fresh off the plane from Seattle. What have you been up to?
We have tried to reorganize the team and get us reset. We're going to keep working toward the summer to keep making the team better. And so far, so good in terms of meeting our preseason goals that we talked about. We're in fourth place. We got that home field advantage right now in the playoffs.
So I'm glad you brought that up. As a person who evaluates the roster quite often, how do you decipher whether a change needs to be made after 4 losses? And I know you can't make any yet, but July is coming, or you stick with the team you have.
Look, as a CEO, GM, you never want to make a reaction or decision based on one game or even a couple of games. You want to look at trends. So, look, it's important we get right tonight. It's a big game for us. But, again, in terms of the overall picture, we're in fourth place. That's the goal we set out for this group before the season. So if we're meeting that expectation, then I wouldn't expect any kind of rash decision from us.
And I got to ask you, you used to be a goalkeeper, okay? In this league, so Brad Guzan, not having him, how much has that affected the club?
You know what? It affects us, I think, off the field as much as it does on the field. Brad's obviously a great goalkeeper, has been for a long time, but I think he's even better leader. And so I think that leadership sometimes, we need some other guys on the field to step up and fill in those gaps. But we'll get Brad back pretty soon as well, potentially even as soon as 2 games from now.
Ooh, I like how that sounds.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be a good lift for us.
Garth Lagerwey, the CEO, president of Atlanta United, a pleasure talking to you. Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks for having me.
All right, guys, this game starting at 7:30 tonight. Again, Atlanta United trying to snap a 4-game losing streak. Back to you.
Exactly. What's on your mind, Fred?
Matt Ryan.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Right?
Yeah.
So I want to ask you, though. So I saw that he was, that he's now a CBS analyst, CBS football analyst. What do you think? How's he going to be at it? Because you know him, you've interviewed him from his time here. You think he's going to be good at it?
Yes, absolutely. Meeting with him on a weekly basis for however many years I did it. I think he's going to be very knowledgeable about what goes on in huddles around the league. He'll be able to talk about the current players because he's seen so many of them. Not to mention, what I like about it is the fact that he won't have to worry about being sacked anymore because he's taken his fair share of sacks. So in the booth, he'll be nice and protected. He'll be able to feel happy and warm. He'll be able to do whatever he wants in that booth. No more hits for you, Matt Ryan.
Yeah.
Now you get to take it easy. Though I will say, Mr. Matty Ice says this is not retirement. If a call comes through about, possibly being a quarterback for another NFL team, he's going to take those calls. So
Interesting.
Yeah, but the booth feels so good.
Yeah.
It feels so good. No more hits.
Right.
I think that's it for us, Fred.
What's up, guys? Welcome into Truist Park. I gotta say, those Braves hosting the Dodgers tonight. They'll be here the next 3 nights. The 2 best teams in the National League are facing off. A nice measuring stick for both teams. And of course, Freddie Freeman, he's back in the ballpark he used to call home. When we talked to him earlier, one thing stood out to me right away. He still calls Atlanta home. He told us he spent the night at his house and his dad dropped them off at the ballpark ahead of the game. His tone very different from last year. If you'll remember, the first time he visited Truist Park after leaving the Braves, you know, he was very emotional. He sobbed, but this time is very different.
Well, I mean, obviously, it's a massive difference. There's a lot. Now it's just all smiles coming in. Last year, you know, I didn't know what to feel going into it. I just let emotions go. If everyone in here knows that whatever happens, happens for me. I don't care. I'm not going to control anything. Whatever happens, that's what's just going to come out. So this time, it's been all smiles, though. So it's been good. It's been good to see a lot of guys. I saw Sights in the dugout from across the way, or the old hitting coach for me. But BP being canceled, it messes up a lot of plans of seeing a lot of people, but we still got a couple more days.
And Freeman recently hit his 300th home run. Less than 150 players have done that. He said it's never been about that. It's not about the records. At one point, it was just about becoming a big leaguer, then staying in the bigs, and then being an everyday guy. And that's exactly what Freddie Freeman is. I expect a standing ovation for the former Brave in just a bit. Class act all around. Reporting live from Truist Park, Emily Gagnon, Atlanta News First. Jen.
I'm glad you pointed that out. 25 players over 2 years, and that's a record for a 2-year span in the common draft era, which started in 1966. Kirby Smart, he has produced 54 draftees in 7 seasons.
That's crazy.
In Athens. Double digits for the last 2 years. You mentioned 15 last year. I knew there was no way they were hitting 15 this year. I thought they'd be in double digits. I just didn't know where. I said 11 or 12. However, 10 is still great. Like you said, tied with Alabama for the most in the country. Listen, if you're a kid, a high school kid, and I'm walking in your house to recruit you, if I'm Kirby or one of Kirby's staff members, I'm like, hey, look at this right here. Everything I just said. It's not many sentences. It's not many stats. But hey, you want to play at the next level, right? Not just college ball. You want to keep playing and you want to support your family. Here you go. I've produced this many. This is my track record. Come and join the University of Georgia. That's all that's needed.
That's how the rich get richer.
Absolutely. And what's interesting, Jalen Carter, 9 overall. The Eagles traded up to get him.
Yeah, the Eagles are in love with what Kirby's doing, apparently.
Oh, my gosh. Well, you know, Nolan Smith said it best. It's the Philly Dogs now.
Yeah.
There are so many dogs on defense on that roster. What I guess it would be 4 of their front 7 in the last 2 years are now playing there.
All right, guys, the Braves have been struggling north of the border. They lost their first 2 games at the Blue Jays over the weekend. They tried to avoid the sweep this afternoon, and it was looking oh so good until the bottom of the 9th. Ronald Acuna Jr. looking to stay as hot as this May weather, and just like that, he puts the Braves up 1-0 on the first at bat of the game. What a start for Acuna. That's his 8th home run of the year. But the bullpen remains a problem. Atlanta barely holding on to a 1-run lead in the bottom of the 9th. Danny Jansen hits a single to left, scoring 2. The throw is late. Another blown save. The Jays walk it off. The Braves lose 6-5 and get swept. They've now lost 4 straight and 5 of 8. They're off to Texas for a 3-game set with the Rangers starting tomorrow. Well, the future of the franchise showed off in Flowery Branch this weekend at Falcons rookie minicamp. At practice, one thing was obvious. 8th overall pick Bijan Robinson won't only run the ball, he'll catch it quite a bit. That's how the Falcons will justify taking a running back so high in the draft. With all the other rookies around, Robinson lined up at wide receiver. Nothing new for the All-American back. This man was everywhere on the field at Texas. Dude's versatile. He grabbed 60 passes for 805 yards and 8 touchdowns in his 3 seasons as a Longhorn. Robinson loves that Arthur Smith plans on using him every way possible.